to the window or stepping outside, letting the dog out, something like that. So whatever your physical and mental break looks like, please make sure that you are doing that. And then set up in a good ergonomic workstation, comfortable to where you're not having to go to the chiropractor 4 times a week, but not so comfortable to where like you're going to sleep. So there is that. So this is our agenda really quick for today. We're going to do some team introductions. And then we're going to go into kind of this is Caterpillar. So we want to make sure that we're making the distinction. We do know that Cat Finance used to, or maybe even still does, recruit on campus there at Clark Atlanta. We are the parent company. So this is our first time having any interaction with Clark Atlanta, but Cat Financial has been on campus before. And then we're going to go into our global, our employee resource groups. And then we've got Alan, who's going to go over the corporate internship program, and then jump right into accounting, finance, pricing, and then marketing, sales, product. And we'll open up for questions at the end. Please feel free to ask questions during. I won't be able to see everyone because I'm doing the click through. So please just stop me or anyone else if you have any questions. All right, Dominic, you're up first.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dominic Albert. I've been with CAT for 16 years. I actually graduated from Southern University back in 2005. Originally from Dallas, second home is Baton Rouge, and been working as a senior engineer or working as an engineer for CAT since 2005. Originally, I was in Lafayette, Indiana, doing diesel engine design, and now I'm in the Chicagoland area out of Aurora, with my focus being on some underground mining machines. But I'm very involved. You might say, why am I here with finance? I am very involved in recruiting at different levels with CAT. So I've worked pretty closely with Monica throughout the year, and I'm just glad to be here to be able to support again here today. That's all I have.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Basso. I'm the commercial early talent lead for Caterpillar. So that's all of our marketing, sales, and product support internships, as well as our field rep program with working with dealers. So excited to be here and kind of go over some of our opportunities that we have later today in the presentation.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brandon Brown. I've been with CAT now for 5 years. I started out in the tax group and moved into SOX, and then have done, just got done with the role as lease coordinator in our global information services division. And now I'm with our accounting for income tax division. And looking forward to meeting you all. So.
Good morning. My name is Joe Killebrew. I attended Alabama State University. I've been with Caterpillar for 7 years. I'm currently a senior staff accountant located in the Houston, Texas office. I work for the oil and gas division, and my current role is a financial planning analysis role. And I've done several different cost roles. And previously, when I was located in the San Antonio area office. So happy to be here, and feel free to ask any questions as the presentation goes on.
All right, there we go. Can you guys hear me now? All right, I figured it out. Good afternoon, good morning, I should say. I'm Erica King. I am a product marketing consultant here at Caterpillar. I've been with the company about 24 years. I actually started as an intern as well through Cat Financial, who Monica introduced you guys to and differentiated between the two. So I started with Cat Financial as an intern and then moved over to Cat Inc. several years later. So I've basically been at Caterpillar my entire career, and I currently have marketing consultant responsibility for a portfolio of products underneath our construction industries division. Nice to meet you guys.
Hello, everyone. I am Kenyatta Laurie. I am a tax accountant here at Caterpillar. I graduated summer of last year with my master's degree in accounting from the Alabama State University. I has only been with the company now for a year and a half. I know I just graduated, but I started as a summer intern back in summer 2020. I was asked to stay on as a part-time intern, and I kind of transitioned into my full-time role last year. So I'm excited to be here. And if you have any questions about new staff and just beginning, I'm your girl.
Hey everyone, I am Amy Lindley. I've been with Caterpillar for 20 years. I'm a pricing manager. I actually just celebrated my 20-year service anniversary this month. My entire career all in pricing. I started on the parts side, and I have moved a couple times with Caterpillar. I had a regional analyst position and lived in Switzerland for 3 years, and then moved to work for building construction products in North Carolina for 4, and have spent the majority of the rest of my career in the central Illinois area. So right now working as a systems manager for pricing.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Alan Outlaw. I work here at Caterpillar. My title there says Talent Acquisition Manager. And so I've been with the company 2.5 years. Prior to CAT, I've worked at, probably 2 or 3 other organizations in a similar role. Love being here at Caterpillar. So I will end it there.
Oh, I'm next. So again, Monica Smith Wallace. I am the early talent recruiter for Global Finance Services. Been with Caterpillar about 10.5 years. I've literally done the most random jobs you can think of. I started off in GIS, which is Global Information Systems. Then I moved over to more of like a parts inventory kind of role while I was in school. So I went to Bradley University non-traditionally, and I worked at Caterpillar the entire time. So that just goes to the flexibility of the roles that we have, and just the willingness to kind of let you make sure that you're able to go off and get your education. Before coming to Global Finance Services, though, I was the early talent recruiter for order to delivery and procurement. So more of the supply chain manufacturing kind of roles. And I am thrilled to be with you all here today.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Stoller. I joined Caterpillar more than 25 years ago from the University of Illinois with a degree in finance and a CPA. I've had a lot of different finance experiences, a couple international assignments. I currently work in our corporate treasury group as the director of benefit investments. Essentially, my team invests the assets in Caterpillar's pension and 401k. Also serve as the treasurer and investment committee member on our Caterpillar Foundation and the endowment we have there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jalen Swan. I recently started last summer, August of 2021. I did internship part-time during my master's program as well, just like Kenyatta. And then I also did internship during my junior year in the product cost shared services. Currently, I am in oil and gas division as a cost accountant for SPM. And so if you have any questions about transitioning, just like Kenyatta, I'm here for any of your questions, and especially any questions about the corporate internship.
Alrighty, my turn. So hi, everyone. My name is Gianna Sujanani. I have been with Caterpillar for 2.5 years. I graduated from the University of the Virgin Islands back in 2019. And like Jaylin and Kenyatta, I also got my start with the company as an intern. I'm currently a staff accountant with our engines division here in Texas and Central Texas. So it's been a great experience, and I look forward to getting to know all of you. So over to Brian.
Yeah, thanks. Hello, everyone. So my name is Brian Talley. I've been at CAT for 22 years, mostly in Illinois in various roles, supporting everything from, a factory to our corporate HQ, right, in the C-suite. Similar to Amy and Kevin, I did get the opportunity to live and work overseas in Europe for a while with Caterpillar and enjoyed that quite a bit. Most of my career has been spent doing recruiting events and interviewing and stuff, so something I like to do. And some of everyone else, I think we're here to answer questions you have. I'm on LinkedIn as well, if you want to connect that way, if you don't get time today, and appreciate the opportunity to speak to everyone.
All right, thank you, everybody. As you can see, I went and found everyone humanly possible that was willing to join this call. Everyone is wonderful. They've got a wealth of knowledge. So I am going to now pass the baton over to Joe. If I can get the slide to change. There we go. So he can tell you a little bit about our company.
Okay, yep. So this is Caterpillar. We've been around since the early 1920s. So that's something I like to emphasize because it shows that we're a strong company that's been through any type of downturn or any type of change in strategy or change in business environment. So it's something that I think everyone should look at when they're reviewing a company to see how strong they have been over the years. Another thing, we had about almost $42 billion in sales last year. We operate all over the world. One thing I do like to mention is that we operate out of 3 different segments. One segment is construction segment, and that's mainly the stuff that you're probably most familiar with, the stuff that you see on the side of the road as you're driving all throughout the world. And then we operate a mining segment. It's called resource industries. And that's like mining equipment. So that's a lot of stuff we probably never see. These are like massive machinery that you see that moves dirt all through these different mining sites. And then another massive industry that we're in is energy and transportation. And that's the segment I work in. And that's where we mainly build diesel, natural gas, and now electrification engines within all over the world and those different things. So, and then we have we have a 4th division where we actually do like financial services. So those are the segments that we operate in, and everyone's probably most familiar with the construction industry because you see that on the side of the road, as I was saying. We operate over more than half our sales are outside the United States, and we operate in all over the world, as I was saying before, 192 different countries. We have locations in 25 different countries with over almost 100,000 employees. So it's a really strong company, large company, and like I said, this is all 2020 data. 2021 is still being published. I believe it comes out next month. We'll get the official data. So any questions about a little bit about Caterpillar? Anything you want to know? All right.
And I added this slide here just as a global footprint so that you all could see where we have facilities across the globe. So this is just a visual for you all. All right, next up, our employee resource group. So aligning, with our enterprise strategy, our employee resource groups help drive alignment by promoting, positive and inclusive employee experience. ERGs are a wonderful way to network with different communities. You don't have to be a part of a certain, demographic or community to be a part of that ERG or to support that ERG. So we have 14 across the company, 128 chapters across 20 countries, over 8,000 members. And then some of those ERGs are the Africa Business Resource Group, Active Caterpillar Team, Enabled and Disabled Employees Partnering Together, Armed Forces Support Network, Caterpillar African American Network, Caterpillar Asian Indian Community, Caterpillar Chinese Resource Group, Caterpillar Latino Connection, Caterpillar Korean Resource Group. There's WIN, which is the Women's Initiative Network, and then also Young Professionals. And there's also the Caterpillar Lambda Network. So I will pass it on now over to Dominic to talk about CAN, which is the first Caterpillar ERG.
Thank you, Monica. Again, my name is Dominic Albert, and as I mentioned, although my main responsibility at Caterpillar is as a design engineer, I've also participated in the CAN ERG since I started working here in 2005. Currently, I serve as the global chair for CAN, which again stands for Caterpillar African American Network. I won't bore you by reading everything on the slide verbatim, but in essence, CAN looks to serve the African American community inside and outside of our four walls. So we do this through things like community service, involvement in recruiting, as well as facilitating programs focused on professional growth. And those can be things like workshops, mentoring, exposing our employees to job opportunities in different areas of the company. And we also work with our executive sponsors to identify ways that we can provide value to the enterprise, especially given from an African American perspective. It's called an employer resource group because our goal is to be a resource for the corporation, but we're also a resource for the employees. As far as one thing I like to tell students that are going into their careers is that when you're evaluating any place that you work, I do encourage you to take into consideration the resources and networks that are in place that can benefit you. Employer resource groups like CAN are an excellent example of that because, as you can imagine, when you come into a new place, it's always good to be able to develop a network and get as connected as possible. And that's something that we focus on doing within CAN. So that's all I had, Monica. Pass it back to you.
All right, thank you, Dominic. Are there any questions around CAN before we move forward? All right, we'll go ahead and let Alan take the floor.
Thank you, Monica, and thanks everybody. So real quick, just wanted to kind of take a moment to talk a little bit about a great opportunity we have here at Caterpillar. And so I think some of the people here already mentioned that they were corporate interns, so they were part of this program at one particular point in time. But I just wanted to kind of give a quick highlight about our U.S. corporate intern program. As a global company, we have other student programs across the globe in the UK, Asia Pacific, and Latin America as well. But our program in US has been around for a long time. The intent of that program is to engage students like yourself, provide you an opportunity and experiential experience, give you some meaningful and challenging work, what's in it for you. Besides the meaningful and challenging work, we try to put together programs and give you an opportunity to network and establish mentors and references here. Monica talked a little bit about our 14 ERGs that we have here at Caterpillar. I actually found out yesterday, being on a call with the ERGs, that we have 15 now. So there's a Scoops for ice cream enthusiasts. And so there's another ERG coming to attention. So I got to be privy to that. But looking here, our women's initiative network, they put together I wouldn't say pretty, but a great and robust mentorship program where you can opt in. If you come in, it's really up to you if you want to engage with the team there. But they have the ability to do that during the 12-week internship. This year, our internship program is starting May the 16th and running through August the 5th. I think there's some flexibility within some of the functions in terms of the start date, but that's the start date we try to achieve so we can make sure that you're able to attend the enterprise-wide orientation program. And so also, I think just to call something out here, when you're there, if you can see in 2021, we had 336 interns come into the company. I always like to make reference to this because it shows kind of how Caterpillar is from a leadership standpoint. And as we all, experienced the unfortunate COVID-19 event, we were faced with a lot of different challenges around should we even deploy an internship program. But thankful, very thankful for that leadership team and the vision there. Our leaders got behind the program, and we were able, I think in 2020, to bring in about 353 interns and provide them still an experiential experience, albeit most of it was virtual. And so, we didn't have to rescind any offers. Monica and Megan and some of the others know how difficult that was to engage the leaders at the last minute just to make sure this happened. But great culture here, so we were very thankful to have continued to march forward with our internship program. And I think we learned a lot from it. And then last year we did another event, and these are the numbers here, where we had 336 interns, and for the most part, the majority of those interns worked virtually as well. And so we're looking forward to this year, hopefully getting back to some type of normalcy and try to bring more people on site. But we also are now aware of there might be challenges with different people, different businesses, and different stances as we still continue to deal with this pandemic. But if you look at the kind of the chart, we actually had a U.S. program, but we had 2 of our interns outside of the U.S. because of the virtual environment of there. I think we had someone in Taiwan, and I think the other person was in Canada. And so that was awesome. And then if you see the breadth of our recruitment, we sourced, or we got students from over 79 colleges and universities that participated in this program. So, big kudos there. Other things I just wanted to mention, I talked a little bit about the mentoring. We also provide facility tours. And, it was challenging because the last 2 years, we weren't in person. So we got partners in the business to provide us with facility tours virtually, because we still wanted to kind of give the interns some insight into kind of how we make money, right? And so it was awesome to be able to do that, and all the hard work that goes behind the scenes of that. It's tremendous, but I think it's totally rewarding to make sure that students like yourself have a meaningful and impactful experience. We also had some lunch and learns where some of the other ERGs helped us to come in. They were like 45 to 60-minute conversations. They were, kind of optional as well, but they were well attended. We had one around financial health, which our Activate ERG put together. We had one around allies and advocates, which our WIN ERG put together. And then we had another lunch and learn that was focused on Leadership 101, which was put together by our young professionals. And then in addition to that, to celebrate National Intern Day, we engaged our corporate intern participants and had them kind of lead days of caring celebrations. And so in some instances, students work with other students to get out in the communities and give back, whether that was in a virtual way or actually in a physical way. And so we left it up to the students to decide on how best to use that time to get back around a cause that they were, had a strong affinity for. So I think that was also a big highlight. In fact, it became I think it was such a good response when we gave the survey that we've decided to move forward with that and providing students with a paid time off benefit around days of caring. If you should come to the company within Monica's function or within Megan's function or other functions, they can tell you more about that time off benefit and how you can use that while you're here as an intern. And then we also have functional area spotlights. And so I don't know if we'll get into this later, but besides accounting and finance and pricing, we also have internships in communications, in digital and analytics, engineering, HR, information technology, marketing, sales, and product support, in order to delivery and procurement. A lot of functions, I know, but that's the benefit for working in such a large dynamic organization such as ours. And then finally, for those individuals that consider our corporate intern program, in some cases, you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area. We have facilities across the U.S. I think Monica showed that footprint. If you should take an opportunity that's outside of your immediate area, and kind of how we utilize that is 50 miles from your work or school location, whichever's closest to the work location. If you meet those eligibility requirements, we also provide some housing and relocation assistance to help you kind of cover those costs of having to transition to another location to participate in this experience. So, again, I said a lot, but just wanted to kind of give a quick overview of our corporate intern program. So thanks, Monica, for allowing me to come in and do so. I'll pause to see if there's any questions.
I want to say, don't sell us short, Alan, on the fun. We have an amazing time during the summer. I feel like as the recruiter and as a FAC, I get to know my students or our interns very well. We have crazy touch points all the time. I know Kenyatta is probably still in the back of her head, like, how did Monica get me to come move from Alabama, where it's nice and toasty, to Peoria, Illinois, where it's probably, I don't know, 16 degrees outside right now. But it just goes to show flexibility, what a great time, these interns are having with the company during the summer, internship programs, and the capability. A lot of, like Kenyatta said, there's a lot of possibility for staying on part-time too, if you have the capability during what would be, I guess, going into fall or even spring as well. So just keep that in mind if you are, interested. Those 12 weeks, we're not just going to say, okay, Clark Atlanta student, get to Texas, see you when you get here. We do help with all of that every step of the way. By the time you get started, you've probably talked to your recruiter and FAC more than you may have liked to. So just want to make sure we covered that and threw that out there as well.
No, I appreciate.
Good morning. My name is Ed Davis. I do have a question. I'm a professor here at Clark Atlanta. Talk to me a little bit about the application process and when does it start and how would a student start the application and what is the time frame?
So I can grab a little bit of that and then please chime in, Monica or Megan or anyone else. And so if you see this, we have a link that we can put in the chat as well. But this is a link to all of our U.S. Early Talent Career Opportunities, Professor Davis. Basically, we kind of follow the academic calendar to some degree from a recruitment perspective. So as your students start to come on board in the August-September timeframe, we typically have our postings up at that time because fall recruiting starts. We want to make sure that those students are able to access all of our opportunities and have a fair opportunity to engage with us. And then it continues on through the spring. And so right now those postings are up. We continue to update this link as opportunities arise and opportunities close. And so once they go there, they can see the type of roles they would like to engage in. So all of those functions I said, so those accounting functions, the marketing, sales, and product support, they have internship, and it's pretty clear. So it's internship opportunities. I don't know, Monica, if you could go to that by some chance and show it on the screen, but would that mess up the presentation? I don't know if we could do that, but I'm used to working in teams, so I apologize. But basically this would land them on the page. It's a Caterpillar page. Then they can see the different functional areas that they could, where we have opportunity, internship or full-time. They can click on that. It'll take them straight to our ATS, which is Workday. They can set up an account there, and then they can, read the job description, make sure that they have a fit there. And if they have a fit, we encourage them to apply to everything that they think that they have a fit for. Did that answer your question, sir?
Yes, thank you very much.
No, thank you. And so if we go back though, I didn't want to sell it short. As you guys can hear Monica, she says her students, and that's how all the FACs are. They're like, coming into this environment, there's a lot of passion. The recruiters and the FACs, they take it personal, right? I think as a recruiter, if you've ever been in this space, when you're engaging with talent and you're getting to know talent and you're building those relationships, with students and students on your perspective, as you build relationships with recruiters, make sure that, you keep the relationship going strong. A lot of our recruiters, I know, take it personal, right? I mean, again, when you find good talent, I think at the end of the day, we want to be here to provide a service. But you'll see around here, we do like to have a lot of fun. I'm happy that there's an opportunity for us to maybe get back to some of the things that we used to do in person. So I just wanted to reiterate that. I'm sorry, Monica, I kind of kept it low key, but I didn't want to scare them to the engagement that we provide. But, it's kind of like family around here. That's another thing about Caterpillar. It's family, and so no, I definitely appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk a little bit about the program. So thank you.
Thank you, Alan. So this is the QR code reader. We'll have it up again later in this presentation. I'll also make sure that this information gets sent out to everyone so that they have it. Our names are live links. You can connect with us on LinkedIn and all of that. So we are going to move forward.
Monica, real quick. I'm sorry. Can you go back to this? Can you go back to that screen?
Sure.
One more time. If people would go, the screen with the QR code. Professor Davis, if you have your cell phone there, you can point it at the screen. Turn on your camera. You can point that at the screen, and then it should pop up and give you let you see it, the mobile version. Mm-hmm. So any of the students that want to do that as well. I think Bobby Smith has his hand up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes, I had a question about like the intern. So I had a chance to look at a YouTube video yesterday about the foundation financial plan that you guys have at Caterpillar. And I was wondering, like, say if you're starting off as an intern and you're in a specific area and say you're not doing as well as you would as in another area, is this some type of program that you guys have, like something that's tailored to that? Is that like something that happens at Caterpillar? Like you're not good at one subject, but you're good in a different area. So you probably move you to another area.
I cannot say for sure. I don't know if anyone else on the call knows, but what I do know is if there's a situation where you come on full time or if you come on in an internship, your team is going to make sure that you're doing well. Kind of like Alan said, we are very, family oriented. So if you have questions, that's what your team is there for. Your supervisor is there for, to help you succeed. So we would, never leave you in a situation to where you're, not doing well on an assignment. Does anyone else have anything else to add to that?
Maybe I can talk to that, Monica. Mm-hmm. On the finance side, you end up early in your career, you move jobs relatively quickly and establish a base of different experiences. And some are more really technical finance and some are more commercial or business facing. And if you're really technical, later in your career, as you move into jobs, you tend to focus maybe and pursue jobs that are more technical. If you're a really dynamic communicator with a good finance base, you might tend to focus more and seek a career path more that is in your strength of more on the commercial side. So you may have different strengths and there's a lot of opportunities to take advantage of what you may pursue.
Absolutely. And I'll just add a comment, just from personal experiences, Bobby. I started with Cat Financial with the finance undergrad, actually. And now, as my career progressed, I moved in and out and actually transitioned from Cat Financial over to Cat Inc. There are tons of examples of people starting in one field, maybe aligned with their degree, right? That's typically what we're trying to do. but they fluctuated and navigated their way throughout Caterpillar and other areas. People come in as engineers. I've had friends transition over to the marketing program that we'll talk about later. So much flexibility within our organization. You are not locked into the position that you hire in, but the specific question about if you're not doing well, the goal is for you to get to that point, right? And if you struggle, you have, as Monica stated, there is a team, you have a direct supervisor, your peers, your mentors, your network around to work you through your day-to-day, right? So you don't get to a point where you're not doing well. So we have goals, obviously, that we set on an annual basis. We have quarterly, monthly, weekly, sometimes meetings and ongoing one-on-ones to track the progress of our work against those goals. So it's not a, hey, you got to do this, and at the end of the year, we talk to you then. It's an ongoing process, especially as you're first coming in, right, to ensure that you're as successful as possible, because that's the goal, succeed, okay? Resources are here to make sure you're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Bobby, just to kind of piggyback off that, because I just started in my role, I always thought that I was going to work in like a traditional accounting, like at a facility, but I was offered the opportunity to work in tax, and that terrified me because I wasn't good in tax at school. But I will tell you that the team that I'm working with always asks me weekly, Kenyatta, do you need additional resources? What do you need? Are you understanding? Do we need to do additional touch points? What do you need? How can I help you? So they also do tell you it's a huge company. You can go wherever you want to go, literally. So if you feel like it's not the right fit for you, you have to have that conversation with your immediate supervisors and leaders and just be honest and say, hey, I thought I would like this, don't really like this. Do you think I should kind of try something in a different area? And everybody has been pretty great with finding something that is for you.
Yeah.
You might just end up as a recruiter, Bobby. I started in operations, and now I'm doing something that I never could have conceived that I'd be doing, and so I think, to echo everybody's point, you'll have the support structure here at CAT, as well as opportunities to do a lot of different things. So it's really up to you, and I think we have great leaders that really put together good professional development plans to kind of help you achieve your goals.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the question. Were there any other questions out there? Okay. Well, then we will press forward to Global Finance Organization and let Brian take it over.
Okay, thank you very much. You hear me okay? Okay, hello again, everyone. Just a quick overview for full-time for accountants at Caterpillar. So we're looking for 4-year degreed accountants or a master's. So that would include a minimum of 18 hours core accounting classes. GPA requirements 3.0 overall, and within those core classes also a 3.0. Now with Caterpillar, you kind of heard this a little bit in our intros, and as we've been talking, we really develop our accountants, I would say, among multiple groups, right? So that helps you get a broad understanding of the company and really gives you kind of a mind of what's going on overall, develops your network of people, right? And ultimately all that does is helps us serve our customers better, whether that's the leaders of the company or the shareholders or whoever. So being open to relocation, I would say, is needed. That doesn't mean that you physically move for every job, right? But there are a lot more opportunities, right? The more you're willing to relocate. Specifically for these roles, we're talking about graduates here from December of 2021 through August of 2022. And just kind of to lay this out a little bit, right? Graduating and returning interns interested in full-time employment actually don't go through the interview process, right? So we're effectively using their 12-week internship as the interview, which is a plus. And I think speaking of that, I'll turn it over to Brandon to talk a little bit more about the internships.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. So the internships, we're really looking for people from four-year university that's getting their bachelor's or master's in accounting currently. And just to go over some of the things that you can see on the screen as well, we do require a 3.0 in your core accounting GPA, as well as 12 credit hours before you would start your internship. Currently, we're not really offering sponsorship for international students in case they would need sponsorship in the country. And another thing, like Brian talked about, being open to relocation really will open you up to the basically the company as a whole, and getting a bunch of unique experiences. Just like Brian said, there's the accounting internships are available in a plethora of different roles, including like tax and SOX and controls, as well as in a business group or in like a legal entity accounting, like governmental reporting or whatnot. So really being open to that, and just to piggyback off of what some of the other members of the team have said, I was an intern for 3 years and was able to work through my entire time of going through school. And the internship experience really gave me a lot of opportunities within my career to meet other people, and as well as gave me the opportunities, being a member of like one of the ERGs, specifically Young Professional, gave me the ability while I was an intern to actually go in and drive the equipment that we actually produce, which was something that I did not think that I would get to do as a finance or accounting intern. So like Alan and Monica have said, there's a lot of arrangements that can be made with getting you to where you need to be as far as location. And I would just say work with Monica once you've applied, and she can really kind of put you on that path of where you want to go within your accounting career starting out at Caterpillar. So I guess I open it up at this time to any questions about accounting or finance here at CAP for either a accounting internship or a full-time.
Could you go back to that accounting? Brandon, it says 12 completed semester hours. Is that in 12 accounting semester hours or just 12 hours? Do you have freshmen into?
I believe it's just 12 accounting hours, isn't it, Monica? Because you're eligible for full-time employment if you have 18 accounting hours. And so I think, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that 12 accounting hours is just, like you said, Professor Davis, just for, it doesn't have to be 12 completed accounting hours. So yeah, so a freshman could, in their freshman or after their freshman year could be an intern.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Correct. Thank you, Brandon. All right, Kevin.
I believe you're on mute, Kevin.
Thank you. Now let's start off and just talk about the different areas of finance where we would place interns as they come in. We have a corporate finance team that focuses on bank relationships, rating agency relationships, the debt on the balance sheet, interest rate swaps, and things like that. Very strategic group. And we also have corporate cash and an internal funding group. We have a lot of cash on the balance sheet, and we have hundreds of legal entities around the world that have maybe up to 1,000 bank accounts across the network. And so cash moves daily throughout that. We have intercompany loans that sweep up and connect all of those legal entities, and so that the cash would roll up and at the end of the day is invested the most efficiently as possible. We also have a risk management group that includes FX and commodities, and a supplier finance group that measures the health of our supply network. And we have my team that invests the 401k and pension assets. That's over $30 billion today. And we have a group more on the commercial side that work directly with our dealers and have finance facing roles, ensuring that our dealer network is strong and efficient. And so we have interns that get placed in each of those groups, and the interns are doing work that our finance analyst full-time employees would be doing otherwise. So there's daily tasks. They'd be participating on projects. They'd be leading projects. And in the past, we've also had a case competition where the interns do a cross-functional experience working as a team against other intern groups to solve a problem or present an opportunity. And the interns in the past have really enjoyed that experience, and it's real work. We do look at finance majors. So we're looking for either a bachelor's degree in finance or an MBA. But it's that we often see double majors, finance and accounting, or finance and data analytics or information systems. Those are becoming really popular now. And certain schools may have a different flavor where it might be a business admin degree with a finance concentration. Really, we're looking for students that have a passion for finance, and they've demonstrated that through their academic performance, their work experience, and campus engagements. So we just looking for that finance passion demonstrated by the commitment they've made on their degree and studies. We do target in finance. We're open to all classes, but we really target students that are after their junior year of undergrad or after their first year of an MBA, where they would be going back to school after their internship for 1 semester or 1 year. And the purpose of that is that we source our full-time talent primarily from our interns. And we want we don't want you to have a great intern experience and not walk away without a full-time offer. So best case scenario for us, we fall in love with you over the internship. You fall in love with us, and you walk back to your final semester or 2 of college with an accepted full-time degree or full-time offer. And we'll be actively recruiting for interns and for full-time positions this spring.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions around finance? Okay, push forward to pricing. Amy?
Okay. A lot of what we talked about on the accounting and finance positions also applies for pricing in terms of what we're looking for with, having a 4-year bachelor degree, 3.0 GPA. Pricing is a bit different, and I don't know that maybe some of you are even familiar with what pricing is. It would appeal probably if you have a business degree, economics, math. Maybe you have an analytical mindset, but you're thinking that you're not really on a direct path for accounting, finance, or marketing, and maybe you have more of a passion for working more directly with the end products that we're selling. So pricing kind of sits in the middle. People that have hired in pricing have had all sorts of different, business and economics, math related majors. What we're doing for both, we have positions in the parts team, machines, and power systems. The goal of pricing is to capture the perceived value of the component that we're putting a price on in the eyes of the customer. So it's not just a cost recovery exercise. There's a lot of analysis, and we're working directly with some of these other functions. And I had a finance major myself and also international business. But what drew me to pricing is that idea of working directly with the engineers. For instance, in the parts side of the business, we have analysts that have responsibility for different types of parts that we have responsibility for pricing. And if you are, the analyst that's on the filter desk, you're going to be working directly with the filter product teams, marketing teams to understand, the value of Caterpillar's filters and then develop pricing strategies for those parts that position them appropriately in the market. So it's kind of an exciting role, and the skills that you would gain in this type of position are also sought after in other areas of Caterpillar. So this could be an area where you start your career at Caterpillar, but then also opens opportunities for you to move on to other different roles within the product groups and then across the different pricing functions as well. Challenge you to consider a career possibly in pricing, and think about one of the roles that we have as an internship or a new hire. I'll speak directly about the part side for 1 second. We tend to bring in quite a few college new hires directly into the pricing team, and the responsibilities for those new hires and the interns that we bring in are fairly similar, where you'll be given like a smaller scale price review, we would say it, to work with some of the more senior analysts and updating a strategy. And that's kind of the starting point for most of the pricing work. But it's definitely a collaborative environment with a mixture of people that are new in their career, and some like me that have been there for quite a long time. One other fun fact, the professional, I'm certified by the Professional Pricing Society, and the Professional Pricing Society is actually based out of Atlanta, Georgia. So any questions about pricing? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Pass it on over to Gianna.
Alrighty, thank you. So yeah, I'll just take the next couple minutes to share with you guys one of the many ways Caterpillar supports the professional development goals of their employees, right? So as business students, accounting students, maybe some of you are contemplating studying or pursuing the certified public accountant, credential. So the great thing about working with CAT is that the company will support that effort by either directly funding or reimbursing you for the purchase of like those study materials. So let's say you're hired full-time as a college graduate and you already purchased the study materials out of your own pocket. So you can actually receive reimbursement for that, for those CPA materials, as long as you have the receipt and it's dated within 1 year prior to your start date. Or let's say you're like me and you decide to wait until you start full time, right, to start that career, that journey into your CPA examination and getting that credential. So CAT is going to cover those costs up front because, as the slide highlights, they do have a partnership with Becker, which is one of the most reputable, one of the most effective study programs, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. So personally, when I found out about this opportunity, I was pretty happy. I was ecstatic because working towards getting my CPA was always one of, the things on my professional bucket list. And, just overall, it's always good to know that, the company you choose to work for is going to support you in those development goals, because we always want to keep learning. We always want to keep growing, right? So, just to give you guys an awareness that Caterpillar does support those goals, and they do provide support when you're trying to grow professionally. So if you guys have any questions about it, just let me know.
Also, on that, Caterpillar covers the cost to take the exam up to 2 times for each section. Gianna's going to pass them all on the first try, but I didn't pass all mine on the first try, so they cover up to 2 times. So yeah, just an FYI.
Third time's the charm for me.
There you go. I was going to say, and then once you have it too, there's a lot of opportunities to get your continuing credit hours within Caterpillar. So they offer, there's constantly things being offered to get those continuing credit hours.
Exactly.
Gosh, I love that transparency. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pass it on to Megan and Erica.
Wonderful. Thank you, Monica. So we're going to talk about marketing, sales, and product support, or what we call the commercial function at Caterpillar. So essentially, it's where we are customer facing. So in all the areas, marketing, sales, and product support, we do look for business, marketing, engineering, technology type of degrees. So we're pretty broad in what we look for. We do require a 2.8 out of 4.0 for these programs. But what we really look for outside of degrees are individuals who have strong initiatives, super strong communication, because you are working with customers and our dealers and internal employees. A sense of leadership, interpersonal skills, strong presentations, because you will have to do a lot of those, and individuals who tend to be highly organized as well. If you go to the next slide. You can kind of see here, we do offer 3 different sessions throughout the year, or sometimes it's a combination of sessions. So we do offer summer only, which is probably our most common. I would say about 80% of our internships will be full-time over the summer. But those other 20%, they do offer full year internships, working either part-time or full-time as a co-op opportunity throughout your spring or fall semesters. A lot of our locations we have, majority will be in Peoria, Illinois, Tucson, Arizona. We have Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Cary, North Carolina, and we do offer a virtual option as well. You can see some of the photos to the side. This is a mixture of hands-on opportunities working with customers. Some of our teams are on what we call job site solutions teams, meaning boots on the ground, safety vests on, working with customers to find the right solutions for their fleets. But then also a lot of it is going to be business type of work as well, as you can see, maybe presentations and that type of work. So if you go to the next slide. My internet might be lagging a little bit.
I'm there, Megan.
Perfect, thank you. So here's kind of a view of what marketing, sales, and product support is at Caterpillar. So looking at marketing, we typically look for marketing, graphic design, communications, or similar degrees. A lot of the work you'll be doing is around newsletter creation, website audits, or publishing new articles to our external websites or dealer-facing websites. Looking at new product introductions, strategy, and go-to-market strategies. Our sales and operations teams are a little bit more of the analytical focused or sales degrees. We run different excellence programs, which takes a look at how our dealers are performing. Maybe it's generating new sales leads using Salesforce, and really just looking at overall performance. Marketing analytics, taking a look to see where are our current customer segments, looking to see how are our websites and kind of the analytical nature of how Caterpillar does business with our customers. I also like to highlight, we have a government contract bids internship that is a co-op opportunity that goes all year round. And it's really just putting together white papers. Essentially, our government does business through different contractors, and we put together proposals and try to win the sale of the equipment from the government. We've had interns in the past actually win contract bids with NASA and the US Army specifically. So really great opportunity to kind of see what it's like to work in that government side as a government contractor. And then finally, product support. This is a little bit more of our engineering side, but more of the customer's side. So putting together sales toolkits, technical writing, and product support for our customers on all of our equipment and parts. And then if you go to the next slide. So we'll go over our full-time opportunities, and then I'll pass it over to Erica. So full-time, again, this is going to be very similar to our internships, very generic business, marketing, engineering type of degrees. I will say that we do not hold ourselves to a specific type of degree. It's more about our professional skills that we look at, but we do want to still maintain that 2.8 out of 4.0 GPA. For our program, we do hire our interns, college level hires, and individuals who have 3 years of experience or less into this program. This position, our full-time requirements do have a lot of relocation and heavy travel. So 50 to 75% travel working with our dealers. Again, we look at our essential professional skills. So we look for individuals with high business acumen, building trust and working with our customers, coaching, customer focus. Influence is a huge one because we can't tell our dealers how to do their business because they are independently owned contractors through Caterpillar, but we do have to help influence and grow their business. So managing change and agility. So a lot of fun, a lot of leadership kind of skills built into our full-time roles. So I'll actually hand it over to Erica, and she'll talk to you more about what is the role of a rep and what does that path look like for advanced careers.
Thanks so much, Megan. So yeah, I'll take it over from here. This is an amazing opportunity. And I actually have experience with this role in my current position and the previous one. So the field rep is really a fundamental, integral part of the success of Caterpillar's business. So earlier in the call, I think it was Joe that walked us through the structure of the company and highlighted the different segments that the way our company is structured. So you guys can see that really structured here to the right. If you look at this visual, I want to start there. So you guys can see the construction industries team along with the resource industries, E&T, and then down below the services group. And the field role is right in the middle. And this is a gear, right? So we know a gear works around, and each component of the gear is really critical. And I really like the way this is structured because it really highlights the value that the field role represents. So you in this position would be the middle person or the main point of contact between the internal teams, myself included. So I'm actually in that upper box under CI. So I support the field teams, and they work in the middle of the internal group and the CAT dealers, and as well as directly with customers. And the financial services arm is just as critical, right? So the really thing I want you guys to take away from this, if nothing else, is the nature of this role and how critical it is to our business. So what is it? You guys will come in as an individual contractor, an individual contributor, and a leader. Really look to as a leader in the organization, even as a new graduate. You'll serve as a consultant, which I am as well, and that has a broad umbrella of responsibility, right? Which is really exciting and keeps your job from being mundane on a day-to-day basis, which is really exciting. So you guys will serve as the face and the voice of Caterpillar to our dealer partners. And our dealers are the foundation of our company, right? They are the entities that are selling our equipment directly to customers. So similarly, if you walk in a car dealership and purchase a car, you would exchange that for a CAT dealership where you'd be purchasing a large wheel loader or an articulated truck, for example. So critical. So I highly recommend this as a potential path for you guys, the marketing team that I'm speaking to, students or any business related students or engineering, as I mentioned, right? So much excitement here. And one thing I'll say from a personal experience, I had an opportunity to go into this program years ago, about 10 years into my career, maybe 8 or 9. And I didn't take that opportunity. I turned it down. And that's one thing from a career standpoint, I would say I regret, because it opens so many doors for opportunity within the company. The beautiful thing is, even with things you may feel you don't directly do, you have an opportunity later on to support and work directly with this team, which is something I'm able to do today. So if we go to the next slide, it'll show you kind of a roadmap and a journey that defines who can participate in this role. So as I stated, this is open for interns, graduate participants, as well as current CAT employees, which is something different that we just started. Allowing CAT employees with experience to go through this rotation and get out in the field and represent us as a field rep, which is pretty amazing. And it also speaks to the level of diversity that we want in the field, right? We want folks with different experiences, different levels of experience to bring that value directly to our dealer organization. So there's different phases that you will go through. And I really like the way this chart or this slide is structured, because it shows it's a journey. And that's what your career is, regardless of if you start in the MTC program, if you come in as an engineer, this path and this journey is yours. It's yours to define, is yours to own. But within Caterpillar, there is so much support and opportunity for you to make your move through here. And it's usually not, even though this isn't straight, it's usually not this smooth, right? Sometimes you may go up and down and around and back, but there's the flexibility, and it's up to you as an individual to define that path for yourself. So the beautiful thing is, in the role that I'm in, although I didn't go through this exact path, is actually a great next step for this role, or the step after, because we do have field reps coming out of the field into my position now as a marketing consultant. So hopefully this is encouraging for you guys. Hopefully it's exciting for you. If you get excited about the marketing program, highly recommend it. I'm actually talking to my friends who have children that are graduating from college. Like, apply, get into this program, get excited about it. So I hope you guys are as well. Any questions I can answer? All right, cool. Thanks so much.
So now that we have talked about the opportunities that we offer here with the company, we want to just kind of take a moment to talk about that interview process that you will have to go through. I know in most colleges, especially in the School of Business, we talk a lot about the STAR technique. So along with your typical prep for an interview, you would want to familiarize, of course, yourself with the STAR technique when answering those interview questions. So already come to the interview with some different experiences in your mind in those times that you show either great leadership or the ability to form some of those experiences that, you know, typical interview questions, situation-based questions that most interviewers ask. Of course, based off the slide, it'll tell you to focus on the situation. So focus on what situation you were in, the task, what you actually had to do, the action that you yourself, even if it was a team effort, but the action that you yourself took to come up with the result. On the next slide is a more structured review of answering the STAR format. So Caterpillar usually uses a process called targeted selection to ensure that the selection and recruitment process is fair and consistent throughout all candidates. The interviewers will use a principal STAR to mark your interview so that you don't have to think about this in your prep. So you need to think about this in your preparation. So each answer that you give will have 4 parts. It'll have the situation, which is the where and when, the task, what needed to be done and why, the action, which is what you, again, specifically did and how, and then of course the results. What did you do differently than anybody else in that group, or what would you do differently next time that you did it? And of course, any learnings or anything that you found out differently that you would, like a different path that you would have usually taken. Again, even if you have never had like a job, like a real job, or if you've never had what you feel like would be a job that is related to accounting or whatever your major is, think about those on-campus events that you participate in, or some of those extracurricular activities that you are involved in, or again, anything that you have stepped up and showed leadership for. So on the next slide is an example of how you would answer or address an interview question using the STAR method. So as you can see at the top, it gives you the situation of a customer having a complaint. And then of course, at the S level during the STAR method, you will talk about that situation, how that customer came complaining to you. You will talk about that task, what you knew you needed to do in order to fix the issue that the customer had. And then action, again, what you specifically did to make sure that that customer left satisfied. And then as a result, what happened because of your action that you've taken. You definitely want to use that time to highlight yourself. You want to sell yourself during this time and talk about if you maybe was usually using critical thinking skills, or if you were really using a certain set of skills that you know would highlight you as a candidate. You definitely want to include that in your STAR method. And so we'll turn it over to Jalen, who would give us some additional interview prep tips.
So when you do your interview, of course, you're going to be thinking about how can I highlight myself? But one of the things you want to make sure you keep in mind is getting ready. You have to make sure you look the part. You have to make sure that your technology is prepped. For me personally, I try to go in the day before and make sure my connectivity is good. I'm positioned in a place where nothing in my background that will distract anything. And then making sure that you're completely distraction free, because it'll happen. Like, I have a 8-month-old daughter who screams and does all kinds of things while I'm working. And so you have to make sure you make the time to accommodate any kind of distractions and make sure they're put away, basically.
Absolutely.
And then be yourself. Like in an interview, make sure you bring your personality 100%, because that's what you want to be comfortable with doing when you start full time. The people that you're interviewing with wants to get a taste of you as an individual, not you, just your school's perspective or, you know, the structure that you create when you're being professional. It's always good to have a little bit of you in it just because that gives them something to connect with when you do your interview. And on the next side, you'll kind of see kind of things that you can do to make a better connection with your interviewer. Ask them questions. For me, I always try to come to an interview with at least 2 or 3 questions, some professional and then personal questions, so I can make that connection and make a unique perspective for myself in an interview. Because I think my first interview was during a conference with Caterpillar, and everyone in the recruiting team from there on out knew me as the Chick-fil-A girl because that was my connection. I worked for Chick-fil-A for so long, and then it was a new thing for them. So when we made that connection, it was something that I could easily come back to. And, you know, when I did eventually contact them later on, I was like, hey, let's catch up on this particular item and then go from there. And we were able to make those steps. And then also make sure you make a connection of, hey, can you tell me what the rest of this process will look like? How long can I expect to hear something back? Are you comfortable with me reaching out to you? Like those questions are something that you can have to kind of keep the door open for yourself. But you want to make sure that you connect with them at least. It says 48 hours on this, but I try to do it within the next 24 hours just to make sure that I'm on the top of their mind when they're going through and discussing all of the candidates.
I'll just also add, as for interviews, the number one tip I can give is be brief, be brilliant, and be gone. I've heard that directly from HR manager as I was preparing for the interview for this role. And that's the other key thing is prepare, because we know when you're not prepared. This is just like walking into an exam, but even more so because you're selling yourself. And I really like the comments you made, Jalen, about being yourself. That is critical. We don't need another us. We need you. We need your uniqueness in our organization. So be yourself 1000%, but just, be professional as well. So I hope these are amazing tips. I just wanted to add those couple of comments just from my experience.
And I like to add too, just from my experience, the STAR concept is a great concept. When I first started interviewing, I had, I'll be honest, I had issues going through the STAR concept. What I try to tell people is have a few stories already prepared to talk about. You can use them and interchange them a lot. And it's kind of just like telling your personal story, get to practice on that personal story. Practice. Don't get to the point where you're trying to find something, right? Have three or four stories that you've done. They will probably apply to all the competencies, and you can twist them around to make them fit what the interviewer is trying to seek there. And then another thing that a person told me a long time ago, STAR is the concept, but it's STAR plus L, because it's always the follow-up question is always going to be, what did you learn? Right? Even if you had a setback and it was a challenge, they want to see how you dealt with it the next time. And so, I always call it STAR plus L. And so in the L, think about what that learning was as you went through that experience, so you can be able to reflect back should the interviewer probe a little bit more to ask you about that.
Absolutely. Thank you. I was having a hard time getting off mute there. So we have come to the end of our slides that we have for you and information that we have for you, but we will be happy to answer any questions that you have. I really wish I could figure out where my screen went with everyone's face. It disappeared on me a while ago. So if there are any questions out there from students or professors, just let us know. And I think we've still got mostly everyone left here that could possibly field those questions for you.
My name is Cheryl Jester George. I'm the director of the MBA and graduate program. I had a quick question for you. First of all, before I get to my question, thank you guys for being here and sharing your experiences. It makes me want to consider at this late age, a career adjustment. It seems like you guys love each other and have a great time with Caterpillar. So thank you so much for being here. My question to you is there a timeline for students to follow to make sure that they are in sync with your hiring practices or things like that at Caterpillar?
Are you meaning as far as like the application process?
Application process, yes.
Yes. So all of our openings are posted now. We will be attending the Clark Atlanta Career Fair, but you don't have to wait. You can, the QR code reader here, you can scan it. You will see not only the openings for accounting and finance. Pricing does not have any positions posted right now because they've got all of their positions filled, but accounting and finance, and then the positions that are left for marketing, and then literally all the other early talent postings that are still looking for talent. All of those positions are posted now. You don't have to wait. Go ahead and get your application out now. I'm actively looking at all of the applications. We will be setting up interviews and everything as soon as possible. So my suggestion, the sooner the better, of course, but I will say the postings are coming down, I believe, first week of April. So we like to keep them open. We do go to Affinity Fair, so like Thurgood Marshall's, which is not until later on this year, but we will be going to NSBE in March, so we'll keep most of the positions open until after that conference has completed. So apply now if you're interested, or definitely sign up and talk to one of us at the career fair.
And Jalen's got that link to the page in the chat.
Thank you for that, Jalen.
Monica, I don't have but one question, and it only requires a yes or no. But before I get to my question, let me thank you on behalf of the Clark Atlanta University School of Business. And one thing I gleaned amongst the many things I gleaned from the excellent presentation was the family affair at Caterpillar. We think we are a family business school. And as a family, sometimes you have to be a strong parent. And all of us faculty are parents. So sometimes our students or our kids need to be force-fed. So my question to you is, do we have your permission to share this recording with our students? Because sometimes we have to force feed our students and tell them that this is not a nasty supper, this is a good supper. And we want you to partake of this supper. And so we can share this video in our classes. And I can assure you, many times students are not aware of the opportunities, and we have to make sure they're exposed to them. So my question to you is, yes or no, may we share, do we have permission to share the video?
Is it okay with you if I say absolutely? So yes, 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 please do. That's, coming into a university is new business. You see Caterpillar, and I know I've had a student say to me before, oh, so the machine's on the side of the road, that's the reason why I'm getting held up in traffic. And I'm like, no, don't think of us in that manner. But yes, absolutely. I know sometimes, if you think of, other big companies, or you think of Caterpillar and you think engineering, we get that a lot as well. We also get boots, which, our merchandise line is a huge part of the reason why we're so successful as an overall brand. So absolutely, please share in your classrooms. If you want me to, show up virtually, you just let me know, and I'll be happy to gather this group up, or a new group or whatever, and we'll do the best that we can by your students.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you. Any other questions out there or comments? I just want to take a really quick moment to thank the Caterpillar team that showed up with me today. Again, so nervous and just wanting this relationship that we are trying to build with Clark Atlanta to work. So the fact that, you know, it's a Friday afternoon and you all were willing to take some time out to join us to put a great Caterpillar face on, you know, like Professor said, this, you all are our family, we are family. So thank you just so much for all of that. And I appreciate everyone's time today. We've got time for questions if you all have them. But I also don't want to hold anyone hostage. We're just all looking at each other if no one has any further questions. Ms. Cole, are you still there?
Camilla, you're muted.
That's okay. I just wanted to, I've thanked her probably 1,000 times. She's likely sick of me, but Camilla, thank you so much just for answering all of my questions, being a wonderful face for Clark Atlanta. You were like my first point of contact. So just thank you so much for being you. And I can't wait to see where this relationship goes. And we have another meeting. I have another meeting next week with leadership. So I'm looking forward to that also.
Thank you so much, Monica. This was awesome. I think this is a really incredible opportunity for our students. I'm just sad for the ones who missed it because they missed some really good information. And then to Dr. Davis's point, we will be putting this on our website for the students to be able to reach out and to revisit. And we're excited to have you on campus one of these days soon.
Thank you so much. Yes, if anyone has any further questions, please feel free to give them my email address. And even if they have something for one of the other team members, I'll make sure that I get those questions forwarded off to them. And again, you can connect with most of us on LinkedIn. I'll send you the actual slide so that, you know, they can just click right on our names and go directly to our LinkedIn pages. All right, well, that's it. If there's no other questions, thank you all so much for your time today. And hopefully we will be talking